Well, hey everyone, welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. If not, hope that this video provides you some encouragement and some excitement in your life as we talk about the prices for Metazoo. We're going to talk about first edition and Kickstarter, see what the market's doing, see is it worth it for you to open up a box of either of these products. A lot of things are going on. We're going to talk a little bit about grading cards. We're going to talk a little bit about the market kind of drying up on specific cards or specific product. And it's going to be a great time. Looking forward to it. Hey, if you want access to all this data as a collection tracker, head on over to patreon.com/KitchenTableTCG where you can get access to that. All this data goes into a collection tracker that gets updated week to week, so your values get updated. You can kind of see the value of your collection. You can see if you filled out a collection or if you have a full set. In addition, on Saturday, Wave 2 of my Metazoo bundle at MSRP with a Kitchen Table TCG exclusive playmat goes live. So make sure if you are looking for Nightfall product, first edition product, make sure that you sign up for that Patreon as well. And without further ado, let's hop in to the EV and see what's going on in the Metazoo market. It was a fun update today. So right now you can see box prices. I'm going to track them at $90 this week. You can see that's a bid price. You got 950. This is you've got one that 800, very dependent on condition of boxes. That's a huge thing right now for people who are picking these up. I will say, look at how many sold listings you see here. And this is just in the last 3 days, like October 12th. That was 2 days ago. Lots and lots of sold listings for all this product. And that's a good sign if you're somebody who likes Metazoo and likes the boxes or has boxes. There are about 120 boxes currently on the market today on eBay. So that's another just important note. Last week at this time, there were about 160 boxes. So I know sellers add boxes, but people buy boxes. That difference is about 40 boxes this week, which is super interesting, especially where a lot of money is probably going into Nightfall this week as well, as pre-orders are starting to kind of go live from people who are getting boxes. So $900 seems to be where we're at. We'll keep tracking that week to week. Let's see, is it worth it to open up a box? Right now your auras are about 50 cents, your terrors are about 60 cents, your non-foil bronzes are about 66 cents, your non-foil silvers are about 61 cents. Here we go, reverse hollow bronze. No huge change, a lot of different movements back and forth, but no real spikes or anything like that. You're seeing about $5.34. Now let's get into the real stuff. Reverse hollow silver, exactly the same thing. A few cards losing or gaining value, but really no huge differences, nothing major to talk about. Average is at $5.58. Let's go ahead and get to the things that people buy. The reverse hollow golds. Let's talk about, we're going to talk about Chaos Crystal is what we're going to talk about first. Chaos Crystal, where is it? Chaos Crystal is sitting at $105. Look at how few are on TCG Player. And this includes reverse and normal hollow, but the reverse hollow is selling for about $105. There's only 8 listings. I think total there's 10 cards or something like that. Maybe a little bit more than that with this SoCal Magic singles. It has 4. But there's so few product available that it's kind of I don't know, what's going to happen with it. First off, there are non-foil versions of this card. So for the decks and for people who are looking to play, there are non-foil versions of this card that were included in the theme decks. But the supply for a lot of these cards is just really starting to dry up. It's super interesting. I thought that we would definitely see that with Kickstarter, but seeing that with first edition is a sign of things to come in the market, in my humble opinion. So that's the one I wanted to highlight was Chaos Crystal. You've got Mothman selling for about $170 this week. No other huge. Let's actually go to the percentage here. Let's see, Tizzerhook, we had a huge percentage change there for Tizzerhook from $9 to $15. Let's see, Blood Ruby lost 31% from 16 to 11. You've got Eternal Snowflake, Holy Gem, and Lightning Glass all kind of going up. Mermaid Scales going up. Mermaid Scales is a super interesting one to look at. Let's see, I think I popped it up. It's a super interesting one to look at. Let's pop it up. Mermaid Scales. because again, you're just seeing the supply of some of these cards. And I don't follow like the deck lists and things like that as well as I maybe could. 25 of these cards doesn't seem like a lot. And you're seeing, sold for $45 and sold listings of a bunch of those things. They're just kind of all over the place. Keep in mind, I use the TCG low. If it's low, like TCG low, even though once sold for $45, I ended up using 25 because it's the current TCG low. So all in all, your reverse hollow golds are at $21, which is up 7%. Now let's go to the hollow golds. Here's where things really get spicy. You're going to see these percentages right here. This is the weekly change from this week to last week. You're going to see these percentages kind of all over the place. And what I'm seeing is some of the cards that are already the kind of, Mothman, the cards that have already found their niche, their collector, whatever, and found their value are up in value. And then the cards that were kind of, like Lizard Man of the Skateboard Swamp, the cards that are kind of like, who wants that, are now starting to see a increase in value. I think that's probably people, completing sets, maybe some deck lists that are out there, maybe some things that are going on where people are starting to realize that the print run of each of these specific gold cards are actually the same. So I think you're going to start to see a little bit of a, more balancing act, something like, where is it? Walking Sam, that was the reverse haul. I think I was going to say that about, but something like, let's just find another one. Something like a Bisca Busco at $6 has the same print run as a Mothman. So like $6, I'm not saying that it will ever be worth the same as a Mothman. That's not at all what I'm saying. But the disparity between those is massive. And there are people who are going to like Bisca Busco or need to complete that for a set. So as the game grows, I think you're going to start seeing the lower value cards start to rise up to the occasion a little bit closer, maybe another 10 to 20% closer to the Mothman and the Chaos Crystal. But that's kind of what you're starting to see on the market, is some of those lower value cards increasing in price. Deathbeam's a bad example because that's actually a really used card. Silver Bullet too. Let's find another one. Unending Fire Crystal. Another one of those cards that not like the highest value card, not the lowest value card, but just things that are starting to move up. Mermaid Scales, again, another one of those examples. So all in all, your price here is up 4% to an average of $44.86. Anything else? Chaos Crystal is up to 150. You've got Ghost Train to 48. Blood Ruby. All right. Let's go to the box toppers. This was interesting too. Your box toppers are up 39% this week. Sold listings of Spirit Aura at 102 on eBay. You're starting to see Light Aura at 100. These are cool. I kind of thought that these were going to be something that people really wanted to complete sets of and that kind of thing. Average now is at $92, and that's up 39%. That does not include the red ink in the percentages there. Obviously, that would skew that very, very much. If you want to play a gambling game, getting the red ink, I don't want to include that in the EV because it skews it so much, and there's only like 100 of them or something. So that being said, here's your EV calculation. If you want to gamble at a $900 box to get red inks, the EV will get you there. The EV's at $938. If you don't know how to do this, it takes the averages of all the cards, like I just showed you, and then it multiplies them out like this. You get 12 hollow golds, you get 13 reverse hollow golds, which actually, technically this is the official release announcement, but we are learning that some of the boxes have better pull rates than the spell books, which is going to be fixed moving into Nightfall. I know a lot of there's some conversation about that this week. Nightfall, the spell books are going to have the same percentages. It's not going to fall into a bunch of reverse hollows like you did in Cryptid Nation, but you could make an argument that you're going to get more hollow golds than you are reverse hollow golds. So this EV would actually be higher. Let me know in the comments if you think that should change. I'm actually super interested in that. But that makes a box EV $938, not including the non-foils. And the non-foils are kind of selling. They're not worthless. You could probably sell them some bulk and some stuff like that. But you can put them on a TCG player and they would move. And so you're saying at $938, it's worth it to open up a box, take some risks, go hunt for red ink. I don't know. I'm not telling you to do that, but if you are that type of person, Kind of a great deal in my opinion. So, all right, let's go to the EV chart. I don't think I put that in, but that's going to be up from last week by almost 8%, something like that. All right, let's hop into Crypto Nation Kickstarter. Sorry, I was trying to get these videos to be 10 minutes, but then I start talking and I just get excited. So, all right, we've got box prices, card highlight. We've got box prices of Crypto Nation. These are kind of all over the place a little bit. This one you've got, this includes a Kickstarter spell book. That was $10,000. This is kind of the one I'm using right now. It's $9,100 on Thursday the 7th. That's about a week ago. So I know that the market is not moving a ton on these, but that's kind of where we are, $9,000. We get rid of that, and then the non-alternating is the same price from last week that we used for $10,300. There just hasn't been a bunch moving on the market this week. Your auras, we're up 10%. Your Terra, I actually think the Kickstarter auras are kind of a cool thing. It's kind of like playing with an alpha or beta land in Magic the Gathering. I think there will be some significant value in the future for those too. So there is some value there. Non-foil bronze cards. You're sitting at $7, which is up 1%. So these are moving a little bit. I'm not sure how the rapidness of these sales. These are all TCG low. These ones are up 8% to $7. All right, let's get to the reverse holo bronze. These are cards that you actually look up prices for. We're actually down 12% to an average of $83. So a couple of things. Sewer alligator is up. Joint snake is sitting about the same. Space penguins lost some value down to 65. This is kind of a 2-week-old sale though. Tripodoro sold for 285. That's kind of where a lot of that loss came from. Looking at your reverse holo silvers, you've got about 5% difference. No major things. Kentucky Hellhounds down a little bit. Hoop snake, we saw another sold at 75. Let's see, something's got to be up here. Squonk is up a little bit. Funeral Mountain Terror Shots up a little bit. Nothing major. All right, reverse holo golds. Let's talk. This is where I wanted to talk a little bit about grading. We're starting to see a lot of graded cards pop up in sold listings on the reverse holo and mainly the full holo too. And I think a lot of these purchases actually are people who are going to try to get them graded. There's a lot of that going on. I guess we'll talk a little bit more on the holo gold. But Mothman for $750. Keep in mind, this is the one that has the hickey. The non-hickey version is more rare and thus more connected to the holo price. Loveland Frogman up to $225. You've got Slide Rock Bolter at $68. Pizza Bird down to $122. That's from $250. Babe the Blue Ox up to $150. Tizerhook at $81. Quetzalcoatlus at $101. Blood Ruby, we have not seen a sold listing for in 4 weeks, so that one's kind of weird. Chaos Crystal at $271, lost some value for the reverse holo. That puts everything kind of down about 2%. You can see percentage-wise, you're seeing some things are up 100%, some things are up 200%. Black Hole Shard is way up. And then some things are just kind of losing. Snallygaster. There's a lot of just fluctuation. It's very volatile, guys. Metazoo right now is very volatile. On average, though, things are moving down just 2%. Holo Gold, let's give you the average so you can see right now. We haven't moved at all. There are some really interesting sales. I wish I could highlight all of them. I obviously can't. Mothman, a graded 9.5 Mothman sold for $5,100. And here's the kicker here. If you're going to grade BGS, you really should, no offense to the seller here, you really should go ahead and get the subgrades. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but a non-subgrade sold for $5,100 for a 9.5. I think that makes one with the subgrades quite more valuable than that. And this guy should get this regraded with subgrades. It'll be interesting to see. Probably actually send it to PSA, because that seems to be the desire of the Metazoo fan club, is PSA over BGS. So 1,400. It's hard to tell what to do here, right? Like, we haven't seen a Mothman sold publicly, other than that one that's graded. So it's kind of hard decide what to do at this price point. I would say this probably goes up a little bit, especially as people are going to be buying these in order to send them in to get graded, to try to get a 10, to try to get a BGS 9.5. There's also a interview with King Pokemon recently where he was talking about BGS 9.5s being equal to PSA 10s. I don't know if that got into the Metazoo news or not, but I think you're going to start to see a lot more graded cards up for auction, up for sale. Loveland Frogman up to 500. Let's see, you've got Pizza Bird was soft all around this week. This one's down to 360. Babe the Blue Ox at 399. Tizzerhook at 200. Death Beam up to 460, another sold listing. Growth up to 390. Some of these kind of key cards are starting to see a lot of sold listings. Phoenix or Power Up Red at 350. So yeah, Chaos Crystal at 900. You're seeing a lot of movement. Holy Gem down to 110. It's just volatile. Prices are kind of all over the place as people are picking up the cards that they want and not necessarily the cards that the community says that they want. So that's why things are 0%, because some cards are way up, some cards are way down. So let's get to the EV calculation. The same thing is true here. Everything's broken up. So if you include the non-foil cards, you're at $9,491. Keep in mind, I do think you should include some of those cards. I think the Terras are going to be desirable. I think the Auras are going to be desirable. I think there's some desire in some of the other cards. Probably not a massive amount. I did hear from somebody though that they sold a lot of I think it was 3 boxes worth or something like that of non-foils for $1,000. So there has been some reports of that selling. I don't have any evidence of that though. Your EV without the non-foils though, just your foils here, is $6,297. Here's the kicker. Okay. This is what happens in a lot of games like Pokemon and really old school vintage Magic. If you're opening these boxes with the goal of setting things in to get graded, that kind of puts us higher, because you can see this with the Hollow Gold Mothman, right? Like this calculates out a $1,400 Mothman, but if you get it graded, it costs another $250 and it sells for $6,000. That jumps the value way up. So there's a lot of that that's going to be going on, and it seems like the community really likes graded cards. So I think it's going to be a really interesting next couple weeks, next couple months, especially as money moves. Here's a kicker. As you're late in this video, if you're still watching 17 minutes in, let me pop up to my face. I think there's going to be more people who were able to get product of Nightfall at MSRP than there were people who are able to get product of Cryptid Nation at MSRP, because there's more boxes. If the game has grown in the way that I think the game has grown, I disagree with some of the statements that we're not going to see some increases. I think you'll see a retracement. We saw a retracement with Cryptid Nation. Cryptid Nation retraced down relatively hard on release day. I firmly think we'll see that. But what I do think we'll see is more and more people will be able to sell their boxes, sell their cards, whatever, at a profit because they were able to get them at MSRP. And I feel like a lot of that money is going to go into Kickstarter and into first edition Cryptid Nation because so many people missed out on that. The average Metazooite, the average Metazoo person will be able to get more Nightfall. And then if this brings more people in the game, they will be able to sell that Nightfall, and they will be able to use the money that they gain on that to get things that they maybe missed out on. This is just speculation. This is just a theory. And so I do think you will see a little bit of an influx in the earlier cards as people are able to take profits based on their Nightfall stuff. In addition to that, I think you're going to see a lot of people learning how to play the game because they haven't been able to get the Cryptid Nation cards, and now they're able to get things at MSRP. I'm doing one at MSRP bundle for people. I know there's a bunch of other people doing bundle. I know Argos Anonymous is doing a bundle for his patrons. There's going to be more people than ever, in my opinion, that are able to get product at affordable actual costs rather than secondary market, and that's going to cause a lot of more energy into the older stuff. That's just a theory. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. Again, patrons, if you're here on Saturday, we will have the sale. Make sure you go check out the patron post from a couple days ago about that. Hope you guys have a good one. Remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you again next video.